This is a Frozone track.
Ooh, that beat is cold.
I'm Nashida, I'm the taboo. My haters dying to see me. I'm very fine, how are you? I'm a king, but believe me, it's about time that you knew. Got my crown and my rod and my staff. Let me through. I see y'all on my side, hyenas coming over to my pride. See a lion, he ain't fight, but kill him anyway out of pride. That ain't right, but you lie. Got off and think that's gon' slide. Cowards still fight each other, but won't protect the circle alive. You swore you would protect your pride. So did your brother. Stay tripping on each other though. Over some colors. Kill your brother for some crumbs. Uncle Star running with them hyenas that's gonna rip you apart. Lion, that's my team. Lame boys on in. A lot of ruckus is my pride. Long as God on my side, where you gon' hide? Riding down 555. Got the wind blowing through my mane as I drive. Yeah, thank God I'm alive. I ain't worried about much. Got my ride by my side. God made me a king. Lion-hearted. Run up if you want a young. Want no problems. I ride in my staff, yeah. You know I got 'em. Troubles disappear. Hakuna Matata.
What's up, world? It's your boy MDB. We back in the Lion's Den again, breaking down this new up-and-coming project, man. I think y'all gonna love this one, entitled Battle Hymns. Man, right now we really just gonna get into it. We're gonna dig into some of this. I'm gonna give you some behind the scenes info on how I came up with the songs on the project Battle Hymns, where it came from, how I dug into my heart and my soul to really bring the testimony of my life into this project.
Okay. The way I went from it, well, the songs were like ones that caught my, well, all the songs were interesting, but the ones that actually stuck to me, like War. Right. When I was listening, I just was listening to the detail, and like most of the stuff, I could tell he was going from his personal view and everything. Right, for sure. Like from his life so far. Yeah. And stuff like that really got my interest in. From what I looked, but I expected to hear more of what he's really going to produce.
Right, yeah, I think so. Overall, man, I'm gonna say I think it's a great body of work. I think having heard all your projects is probably the most complete project that I've heard from you, from top to bottom. Like, just I feel like everything has a, and you've made some really good works. Like the last one, I think was pretty cohesive too. But this one, I feel like everything is kind of like you experimented some, you did some things different, but overall, I feel like it was all working together, you know what I mean? Like it made sense. 300, how you started off, I think that's the perfect way to start. If it's Battle Hymns, just like, yeah, I'm making a statement, like, you know what I mean? Like this is like, you know that I'm here, like we talking about, this is the content now, like still the same energy that you had with other tracks, but it's, here's where I'm going with it.
Man, the project starts off with a song called 300, and I made this song and I put it at #1 on purpose because I knew that I had to set a new tone for this project. This project going in on Battle Hymns, I wanted to go more of a spiritual route. So I wanted to touch bases on the spiritual warfare that we face on a daily basis. So if you look into the Bible, man, this 300, it has a meaning. 300, if you look into the Bible, the story of Gideon, who was one of the judges of the Old Testament of the children of Israel. Gideon was a very poor man. You know, he was one of the least of his tribe, which was the Manasseh tribe. So he wasn't a rich man, he wasn't really royalty, he wasn't anyone that you would look and say, okay, he holds a high position or a high esteemed person. He was just a normal man, you know, working the fields, trying to eat, feed his family, that's it. But God had a role for Gideon. God had something important for Gideon to do, and he prepared him to play that role, even though Gideon didn't know he was being prepared. That's what God was doing at the time. Man, so I took this song 300 because I saw similarities between that story and what Gideon went through and my life and what I've been going through. Now the thing about Gideon, man, he he was actually looking to take his people, his tribe, his kindred, and go and battle one of the most powerful nations or the most powerful people who are holding a lot of people in captivity, you know what I'm saying? But he was tired of it, he was sick of it. So in order to do this, what he thought to do, what many of us would think to do, let's go get the most people we can from where we from, and let's go ride and get them. So he started to gather people from his kindred, from his tribe. He gathered a lot of people, you know, a lot of them probably weren't warriors. They probably weren't soldiers. They were probably, you know, just farmers or regular people like him. But he knew, okay, we all in the same situation, so I'm gonna gather y'all together and we gonna go take care of this. But God saw different, man. God said, I'm gonna take you through this, Gideon, and I'm gonna be with you, but I'm gonna get the glory out of this situation. Right now you have too many people. But he said, okay, God, I'll cut the people down, but how am I gonna do this? He put his people through a series of tests, man, or different situations that he could determine who had the heart and the character of people that needed to travel with him, who needed to be with him. And God helped him as he put these people through these tests. But the most important that I took from this was the first question that he asked, or the first test that he put his people through. And he simply just said this: look, if you're afraid, if you don't want to fight, if you don't want to go to war, if you're afraid that you're married and you're gonna die and leave your wife and your children behind without somebody to take care of them, if you're scared and you don't want to fight, you can go home now. Now when he said this, man, like I say, he had a lot of people who had his back. He had support because they were there. But a lot of them heart wasn't in the right place. Their heart wasn't in the fight. Their heart wasn't in the spiritual battle that he was about to go through. So a lot of them went home at that very moment. And so coming straight out the bat with it, I can relate. You know what I'm saying? I can relate with trying to connect yourself with people because you think you need numbers and it's not really the right situation. They don't really have the heart for what you're trying to do. They're not prepared in the same way that God has prepared you to do what you're about to do. So this is the tone I'm setting straight off the bat because I know I'm going to a different realm with the music and the message in the Battle Hymns project. So I'm setting the tone early. Look, if you're not prepared to ride with me where I'm going, I'm taking this to a spiritual level. If that's not where you're going, if you're scared to go there and you don't want to fight that fight, go home.
And then Black Counting Blessings is probably like one of my favorite tracks on there.
This is a Frozone track.
But the next song, man, hey, Count Your Blessings, man. Hey, this was one of my jams on the project, man. Count your blessings, man. Counting blessings, man. I really wanted to have songs on this project that could actually motivate and inspire me. And I felt like if I could come up with songs that could motivate or inspire me, and even when I may be going through a hard time, going through struggles myself, I can go back and listen to it and be inspired by the own words that I've written and sung. If I could do that, then I know that song could be used to touch somebody else. So I definitely wanted to have songs like Counting Blessings on the project. It really is a song that you can wake up to in the morning and make sure that you're getting your day started on the right foot, to make sure your mind is in the right place, because we all are going through hardships and trials, man. It's something that we're being tested and we're being faced with on a daily basis, man. All of us, we're going through tests on a daily basis. That's kind of why we're here and what we're going through while we're here. But this song, Counting Blessings, is a reminder that I don't need to be focused on what I don't have. I don't need to be focused on what I'm going through. I don't need to be focused on the hardships and the trials I'm about to be facing, that are trying to stand between me and what God has for me, I need to be focused on his blessings, on the promises that he gave in his word, or that he told me that I would receive for doing the works that he told me to do. These are the things I need to be focused on. Man, there's so many promises. If you dig off into your word, man, there's so many promises that God tells us. Look, if you do what I tell you to do, if you honor my word, if you follow my commandments, I will bless you. And so we can depend on God to provide for us, to give us what we need in life, to fulfill our needs. If we depend on God to do that for us, then we don't have to run elsewhere to get that. We don't have to depend on someone giving us a job, or someone telling us that we have to do so and so to get some money. We don't have to depend on trapping. We don't have to depend on selling our body. We don't have to depend on anything other than God, who said he will provide our daily bread. So he wants that close relationship with us, and he's letting you know, if you give me that relationship, I will take care of you each and every day. Each and every day I will feed you. Each and every day I want you to sacrifice your flesh, and I'll feed you, and I'll give you my spirit in trade. So which one do you want to have? I mean, we can run this rat race if you want to. I mean, you can. I ain't gonna run it no more. You can run this rat race. You can try to stack your money up. You can try to get rich. You can try to conquer the world. You can do the pinky and the brain thing, all of that. But man, I'm telling you, it's gonna be easier if we go with God will, because he already got all of that taken care of. He said, take care of my works that I have for you to do, and I'm gonna take care of you. So that's what Count Your Blessings is about, man. Really just a reminder of that.
With War, he's going with how he's confronting all the stuff he mentioned in the songs.
War was the third one. I didn't like War at first, to be honest. I didn't like War. I didn't like it. But I think I didn't like it because you talking about going to war in the first track.
And then I came back to
right, it. Yeah. And so I'm like, oh, you talking about War a little too much. I was like, But then I listened to it again the other day and last night. I was like, okay. And then there was a part in there where you kind of switch your the flow. 100 of 8, yeah. 100 of 8, yeah. I remember the words, but 100 of 8, yeah. I'm like, oh yeah, he going in on this. I just didn't.
War, the art of war. Oh my goodness, the art of war, the art of war, the art of war. The Art of War is one of my favorite songs on this project, man. I really didn't want to say which ones was my favorite, but that's one of my favorite songs off of the project. And the reason being, the Art of War is it's really, man, it's breaking down what we're fighting, man. Of course, if you know what I'm saying, we wrestle not against flesh and blood. So that's a distraction, and that's one that our people fall to so much. We feel like, another person is our enemy. We feel like a oppressor that's here on this earth in the form of a manly being is our enemy, or is our reason that we're not successful. And that's not true. So a lot of times we're fighting the wrong enemy. Or a lot of the times we're fighting ourselves and don't even know it, because you are going through warfare in yourself as well as your flesh wars against the spirit. So the art of war is pointing out that you have to understand what the fight is in order to be successful in the fight. Now, of course, if you study off into your word, you know that we have spiritual combat gear, I like to call it. So I touch on that, man. We have, of course, the helmet of salvation, protect your head, breastplate of righteousness, belt of truth, the sword, which is the word of God. You know what I'm saying? Your feet shod in the gospel of peace. You know what I'm saying? The preparation. You have your shield of faith, protect you against the fiery darts of the enemy. These are all tools that we have And if we understand how to use these tools, we'll understand the true art of war. I'm not talking about a book that a man on earth wrote when I say the art of war. I'm talking about the art of the spiritual warfare that we go through on a daily basis. So understanding these tools and understanding how to properly fight in the fight that we're fighting is an intricate part of being successful, because like I said, you have to know what the fight is, you have to know who you're fighting, and you have to know how to do so. So that's what this song, The Art of War, is about, man. Our enemy is called the accuser. He is the accuser. He already knows, I feel like he already knows he messed up. So now he's trying to accuse you of in ways you messed up as well. So how do you fight that? The way you fight him is not allow him to gain any of your power. We already know our God is all powerful. Our God is all knowing. He's omniscient. He gave us the power of free will. So he gave that as a gift to us. So now it's up to us what we do with the power he has given to us. You can use that power to give God the glory which that power was given to you for, or you can allow that power to be taken away from you and misused and be used against you by the enemy, the accuser. So at the end of the day, when you go out into your daily fight of this spiritual warfare, you have to understand that what you are fighting is within yourself. Is the decision of, am I going to use my God-given power to give him the glory, which is the purpose of it, or am I going to let that power be used by my enemy, which he will then take my power from me, use it against me, and destroy me, kill, steal, destroy. That's what he came to do. So the warfare starts with you.
Tell Me Then probably is my thing. Well, I'm gonna say my favorite. That one is just super amazing track to me though. Yeah, I can listen to that anytime I feel like.
Looking at anything to that.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, jump in wherever, man.
One of my personal favorites, honestly.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, that's like one of the main songs I put down as the first one.
Tell me.
I felt so much power from it, like you were making a statement. Like I could hear the energy behind it.
Yeah.
Man, tell me then, tell me then. Since you know everything, come on and tell me then. Man, tell me. That's one of my joints too, man. I love all these songs, but Tell Me, man, Tell Me is a real deep song, man. I have a lot of questions about things that we do on a normal basis and why we do them, and things that we're told by society on a daily basis and why we're told them, and things that we're instructed to do on a daily basis and why we do them. The things that we believe, why do we believe them? So this song, Tell Me Then, it's a play on the word tell, because I'm asking you to tell me, give me these reasons, but I'm also using the word tell, T-A-L-E, because instead of telling us the truth, oftentimes society makes up tales. They make up fairy tales to tell us in place of the truth. But if you begin to study, if you become a self-studier, if you read your word, if you even study history and historical documents, and you begin to piece together information, you will see that a lot of the things that we think or we are told is fact, or we're told really happened, it's really tales. So I Tell Me Then, you know, I'm addressing a lot of those type of questions. I'm asking questions. I'm really pointing out topics and situations that we may have been told one thing in life, but it really doesn't make sense to add up the way we was told. And I'm really just digging into why is this the norm? Why do we not think for ourselves? Why why do we allow, even for our kids now, why do we allow the lies and the deceit to pass on to our kids even after we may have learned the truth? So, you know what I'm saying, those are questions that for me in my journey I had, and I really didn't understand why we go through what we go through. So I felt like it was important for me to express that in my music, to also voice for people who feel that way and people who may not know, people who may not be aware of a lot of the things that go on, or a lot of things that we're told that are not accurate, to give them a chance to be introduced to this information and then begin to research. Because when you look into information, the initial presentation of that information begins your search. But in order for you to validate the information that you receive, you have to research. So that's what research is. When you sit down in school and somebody tells you this is the way it is, this is fact, I'm gonna give you a test on it. If you say what I said back on the paper, you get an A. And they tell us they're teaching us how to research, or they're teaching us how to think. Sometimes they're really not. So we have to dig deeper for ourselves and really seek the truth and seek these answers. So this is a song motivating that.
Problems was a great song, I'm not gonna lie. I heard it was great voices and everything. The background, the beat by itself was perfect.
But if you're just thinking about the content of what the song is, I think it makes sense. So, because it's like, you know, I'm going to war, you know, I'm counting blessings, it's the art of war, you know, tell me then, and then it's like, through all of that, you know, we got problems in the world. The world got problems, I got problems.
Problems. Man, don't we all got problems? Don't everybody go through problems? Don't we all got issues? I know I got problems, man. Problems is a song. It's a song that I'm actually pointing out to the society that we live in. We all have problems. We all go through issues. We all have our concerns. Man, it seems like in these days more than ever. So we go through our issues on a day-to-day basis, but it seems like we grow more and more problems, and we get further and further away from the solution, the one true solution. Man, Christ said, "I am the way, the truth, and the light. There's no way to heaven except through me. No other way through the gates." You know what I'm saying? And we steady go out searching, looking for other solutions, looking for other ways to get rid of our problems, looking for money. We think money gonna cure all our problems. We think, you know what I'm saying, if we do things and push and try as hard as we can fix our problems. We feel like, you know what I'm saying, success or fame or wealth can cure our problems. But we all got problems, and we all forgetting what the solution is. Man, it's like we don't even try no more. You know what I'm saying? That's what the song is saying. I feel like the generation that I grew up in, and of course it changes for each generation, but I feel like we had morals and we had a certain foundation that has been forgotten about and left. And we look at younger generations coming up, and probably generations before us did this too, but we look at the next generation and we look at them like, oh my goodness, what's wrong with them? Why they don't have morals? Why they don't have respect? Why they don't do this? Why they don't do that? But this song Problems is showing you, look, in order for that next generation to have dropped those morals or dropped the way to look for the solutions, they had to get it from somewhere first. So when my generation, I'll speak for my generation, when we began to neglect certain morals, when we began to neglect certain methods to get in touch with God and to really build a relationship with Him. When we began to try to fix our own problems, we dropped the ball. The younger generation didn't drop the ball. We just passed the torch to them with all of our problems attached to it. So now they pick that up, and since they don't have the solutions, it seems it gets worse and worse. So somehow we have to stop this trend. We have to go back to what we know is right and what we know really works. Oof, probably, yeah, that's one of my joints too, man. I love Problems, man. Y'all really take a good listen to that, man. Take a good listen. You might have to let it soak in, listen the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth time.
It's not, one thing I appreciate about this, that like I appreciate about some of the quote-unquote newer Christian rappers, is like, it's not overly preachy, and it's not overly, you're not trying to convert anybody. It's just like, here's my stake and my thoughts on it. And I think sometimes I feel like giving up. All I know is go. Is relatable regardless if you're a Christian or not, or if you're into that or not. You know what I mean? So just like I feel like Andy Mineo and Lecrae are two people that I think are like that. A guy named Noah the Governor, he's kind of like that too. That are Christian rappers, quote unquote, but they don't. It doesn't have to be like overly hitting you over the head with it. So I think that was good.
Go is like almost like an anthem, man. Go is, it's telling my life story in a sense. Go is really talking about going through those times and those moments when you feel like you can't go anymore, you can't push any harder, you don't have any more left in you. You know, you really just feel like giving up and quitting. And I've been in those type of situations plenty of times. Man, we always want to talk about the victories, you know what I'm saying? But sometimes we forget to talk about the path to those victories. I tell you, man, I've been in those situations a lot of times where I just wanted to call it quits, man. I can recall moments where I wanted to call it quits as far as doing the music thing. I speak a lot about the struggles of being an artist from where I'm from, you know what I'm saying? I'm from Columbia, South Carolina, so there's not a lot of resources here for that. I talk about that a lot, and that put me in a place a lot of times where I just felt like giving up on the music thing. I just felt like, you know, what's the use in trying to push and doing this? You know what I'm saying? It's not really a route for a person like me or a person from where I'm from to make it. So musically, I've been there. I've been there on a spiritual level. I've been in situations where I felt like religion is, and a lot of people go through this point in their life where you feel like religion or religious structures are full of hypocrites or full of untruths or full of a lot of prideful individuals. So it becomes more politics and prideful positions to elevate oneself instead of helping people to get a closer relationship with our Creator. I've been in this situation, man, even on smaller levels, man, with school. I've been in points of time where I feel like giving up on the school thing. Like, really, I talked about when I went to college, man, I didn't really feel like college was for me. I didn't really feel like I knew what college was about. I didn't feel like, you know, I had a game plan. I understood what my plan was going to be in college. I started as an undeclared major, and I've been through times where I felt like, you know, I'm just about to quit. I ain't gonna get a degree. What I'm gonna do with a degree? I want to rap. What I'm gonna do with a marketing degree? But I kept going, man. Through all of these situations, all of these times where I felt like, man, I just want to quit. I felt like quitting, but I never did. But that wasn't me. That wasn't me. If I would have left it up to just me, I would have quit in those moments. If I would have left it up to just the man that I am and my flesh, then I would have quit in those moments. But that's when I have to look back and say, you know, even at times when I didn't realize it, the Most High was always with me. Because it was because of him that I didn't quit. That's what the song Go was all about. All I know is go. But it's not me that was going. He gives you the strength that you didn't have. So that even when you feel like quitting or you feel like giving up, you feel like the storm is too much, it's too hard to bear, you realize you still going. You just keep going because he is being your strength at that moment. Man, I really love Go, man. Go is another one of those songs that you can go back and listen to for inspiration. I know me personally, I can.
So, because you're talking about problems, after the problems happen, then you gotta go, and then because of the person that you are, that you know you want to give up when you go, you ain't never seen a Judah like me, right? So it makes sense.
Judah Life, man. Judah Life it's another theme song, man. Judah Life. If you know what the tribe of Judah is, the tribe of Judah is one of the 12 tribes of Israel. But it is the tribe of royal lineage. It's the tribe that Christ came through. All of the kings came through. So the reason why I really focus on the Judah life and the lifestyle is because once you're given a certain role or you're given a certain position, God gives you, he reveals to you what your purpose is, and you know what you're supposed to do in life. Now you have a higher level of responsibility, just like those who were in the tribe of Judah or those who took the kingly roles for the 12 tribes of Israel. So Judah Life is really touching on that and how that relates to my specific testimony. So you know what I'm saying, a lot of things that I've been through, I can actually say a lot of the things I've been through with other people as we were going through the same things. I really can honestly truly say I've seen and been through things that should have broke me. I've been through things that should have, in some circumstances, should have killed me. I've been through things that should have broken my spirit and really just messed up my mind, my mentality. And not only have I been through things like that, I have been through them with other people, and I have seen other people get broken. Not bragging on, trying to put myself up, and not trying to put anybody else down, but I've seen it. I'm going through this and they're going through this, and they fall, and I'm still going. Why is that? It's not me. It's not me that kept me going. And I continue to say that because I always give glory and honor where it's due, to the Most High. Glory be to God. But I had to start thinking, like, why is that? Why do I continue to go through these things, but it don't break me or tear me? It doesn't destroy me. And it's that whole Judah life mentality, man. It's the whole Judah life mentality. God allows me to go through allowed me to go through certain things in my past because it became my testimony, and he knew that would be the tools I would be using in the future. Like even right now, what I'm putting in my music, what I write about, what I use when I go do outreach or to minister to the youth or other people. I use the things that I've actually gone through. So he allowed me to go through those things and protected me while going through those things, so it wouldn't destroy me, but it would give me a story that has given me a certain power that I can give to others. The power of testimony, to speak with them and to say, I know what you're going through because I've been through it. I know what you're facing because I faced those issues before. Let me tell you what God did for me. That gives them the power to know, okay, God can help me through this. We get power through our testimony. That's how we overcome. I can tell someone who is being faced with prejudice or police brutality or a wrongful judicial system, I can tell them, look man, I know how that is, but this is not the end. Let me tell you how I've been through that. I've been set up by the police, law enforcement. I've been in situations where my car got broken into, and I was told if I wanted to file insurance, I have to call the police to file a report. So I called the police to file a report. Really didn't want to, but did anyway. And the police come, don't try to help me with my situation, don't really talk about the car or anything, don't try to dust for fingerprints, none of that. But they pull me to the side, pull up 3 other officer squad cars, surround me and question me about a robbery that taking place down the street when I called them. You know, I've been through these type of situations, man. I've been through all type of things, man, but God allows me to go through that because he knows someone else is going to be going through similar situations, and I can be a useful resource, a useful tool to tell them, look man, God can get you through it because he got me through it. So man, that's just the responsibility, man. That's what we have. That's the whole lifestyle. When I say Judah life, that's what I'm talking about, man. To whom much is given, much is required. You know what I'm saying? So that's the lifestyle that we live, man. It's not always going to be peaches and cream. Because of the position we have, we're going to face more adversity. So we got to prepare for that. You hear me say all the time, man, no cross, no crown. I mean, you can't get the cross and get all the glory without going through the persecution. It don't work like that. So that's Judah life, man.
So my cross, your crown, my only other, it's not even really a critique, but other thought on that song is that when I first heard it, I was like, this is a great song, but a part of me thinks that this is a song that should like get catapulted somewhere else, like higher than a higher stratosphere, you know what I mean? In terms of like where it can go. Like I feel like it could do some things like musically and like on the charts or whatever. I really feel like that. And
My Cross Your Crown. MCYC, My Cross Your Crown. Christ showed us how to fulfill our purpose. He showed us by the life that he lived. A lot of the times we look at Christ dying on the cross as the ultimate sacrifice for our sins, which it was, but it wasn't just him dying on the cross that was the sacrifice. The sacrifice was him living a perfect, sinless life all the way up until that point before he died on the cross, because him doing that was him sacrificing his flesh in order to be a worthy sacrifice to take on all of our sins. That's why all of our debts have been paid. The wages of sin is death. We have sin. We're supposed to die. But since he didn't have sin and he stepped up to the cross for us, he took on the wages of all of our sins. Now, why do I say that Christ showed us the way? I'm not saying that because I'm telling you that you can die for your sins or you can die for the world's sins. We can't do that. I mean, we're not worthy. But the process that he took showed us how to reach our purpose. That was his purpose. His purpose was to come and be our salvation. That's what, if you do your research, that's what his name means. God's salvation. So that was his purpose, and he fulfilled his purpose by doing a sequence of things. If you look, when Christ, before he died on the cross, he had to take on all of our sins. In order for him to take on all of our sins, because of sin and what it is and the nature of sin, it means he had to momentarily be separated from the presence of God, because God does not dwell where sin is. So we know that Christ was 100% man and 100% God simultaneously. But at that moment, God's presence was removed. That's why you hear him say, Father, it's too much, take this cup away from me. But then, at the same time, because he knew what his purpose was, he said, but not my will, but thy will be done. So that's Christ the man speaking to us at that point. When he dies, he died as a man. When he killed his flesh off, he said, not my will, but thy will be done. He killed his flesh and allowed for God's spirit to work. So he's showing us the process that we have to do to reach our purpose as well. We have to do the same thing. We have to, one, kill our flesh. We have to die to the flesh. Then two, we have to allow for the spirit to work. So we die and we're reborn, and then we are revived and working in God's spirit. That's how you reach your purpose. That's how you do what God's will is for your life. That's how you reach your purpose. Now, our purpose is not to die for everybody's sins. Like I said, we can't do that. We're not worthy. But your purpose may be to be a preacher. Your purpose may be to be a teacher. Your purpose may be to be a writer. Your purpose may be to be a usher at church. Your purpose may be to be a dancer. Whatever it is. In order to reach your full potential in that, you have to understand, I have to die to my flesh first. I have to give up what I want. I have to give up all of my desires, because I'll be chasing money forever if I don't do that. I'll be trying to get rich and get cars and forget that I even wanted to do music, which is my purpose. If it was up to me, I would be stuck chasing money and forget about doing the music. You know we would. You know we would. We'd be stuck in that wheel, you know, the little wheel that has to be running in, chasing that dollar. Forgetting all about what our goals was. But if we die to the flesh and we allow God's will to take over, we allow his spirit to take over and do what he has for us, we found out he had greater plans for us anyway. So we better off going his route anyway. But you only find that out after the fact. So, man, it's really that whole concept is what I mean by when I say my cross, your crown. You know, I'm making a sacrifice of my life because he gave me a second chance at life. We already messed our first chance up. He gave us a second chance. What are you going to do with it? He's saying, give your life to me. Give this second life that I bless you with, give it to me so that I can use it for my glory. You can choose to do what you want to do with it, or you can make that sacrifice like he did when he sacrificed living a whole perfect life before he died. I'm going to give my second life, my second chance of life back to you. I know what I would do with life. I messed up my first chance. I'm going to give you my second one. I'm going to take this cross. I'm going to die to my flesh. Then I'm going to be reborn. And I'm going to have your spirit come on me to give me a new mind, a renewed mind, now to do your work. And that's after we do that, that's how we work towards our glory. So it's my cross for your crown, for your glory. And that's the whole, man, That's my whole mentality in that song. And that's how I really try to live my life now. Knowing that if you keep that in mind, it gives you a different perspective. It gives you a different insight into what you do on a daily basis.
I think Lion King could be a single too, or like a street, I hate to say a street single for a gospel single, but like a street single. Cause I can hear people, cause I've been saying that all like day in my head. God made me a king, lighthearted, riding myself, yeah. You want no problems, like, whoa, this dude going in. And
Lion King, God made me a king, lighthearted. Man, Lion King. God did not give us a spirit of fear. Lion King, man, if you have followed me in the melodic ruckus movement, you know we are part of the Lion movement. So you know what I'm saying, that always has a meaning in what we do. Like I said, God did not give us fear, man. God didn't give us a spirit of fear. And if you listen to this song, of course, I take on the role of kingship, and I take that role on with pride, but I'm also a lion. So I related the song to the story that we know from our childhood movie, The Lion King. But if you listen to the lyrics, I'm telling you a real life story of what we go through on a day-to-day basis. Building it off of the storyline and the characters that we know from my beloved childhood movie, The Lion King. But really I'm touching on the struggles we go through as far as facing police brutality, unfair situations, or unjust judicial system that we faced here in America. I'm touching on just manipulation of the system, injustice, a lot of social issues I'm touching on in this song without really calling them out like that, but using a creative way to address them. And of course, the whole project Battle Hymns is coming from a more spiritual side, so the deeper you listen into this song, you'll see the spiritual benefit and the spiritual side of it as well. But it's a multi-layered song. It's a real fun song as well. More upbeat, something that you know you can dance to, something that could be a theme song. But of course, in this meaning, it's multi-layered. So that's a real fun one. I like Lion King as well.
My critique of Rest is that you have to end the album with Rest. That's just my personal thing. Basically because I think it's the best song on your album. I think it's the and I think it sums up everything. So look at it like these are battle hymns. You're talking about, you know, going to war, the problems you've been through. You talk about, you know, your Judah life. You talk about, you know, all these other things, right? And then at the end of it, after doing all that, you got to find rest. So after we fighting everything, and you know, go through all the things in society and go through all these problems and ups and downs, you got to find rest in the end. So I feel like rest has to be in the end because of that. That's just how I look at it.
Man, the last song in this project, man, entitled Rest. Rest is it's a replenishing song, man. It's what it sounds like. It's telling the importance of being in the peace that God has for us and getting the rest that He wants us to get. I mean, we go through spiritual warfare on a day-to-day basis. That'll drive a man crazy. Y'all heard of PTSD in a natural sense, but think about that spiritually. Think about that emotionally. Think about that mentally. We go through warfare every day. If we didn't have comfort in the God that we know, and we didn't have a sense of peace in His presence, we wouldn't be able to keep going like that, man, day after day after day. So it's important that we have rest. And we know that it's important even from the way God showed us through creation. After he had all of his days of creation, he set aside a full day of rest. And not only did he do that, but he commanded his people to do the same. So on the Sabbath, that's our day of rest. That's our day of really dwelling in the presence of God and getting replenished. Because you need that rest so you can go back out and be productive on the battlefield again. Man, you can't have no sleepy, tired soldiers around you, man. We ain't trying to have no friendly fire. So y'all fighting with me on this side, look, we need to get our rest. You need to take your rest on the Sabbath, man, and really get back and tap into the presence of God, man, because there's so many distractions and so much out here that we go through on a day-to-day basis that tries to keep you outside of the presence of God. It's almost like you need to unplug and unconnect from the world for a day and just get back into the zone that God needs us to be in. Get back into that feeling of peace. Get back into his presence. Just get back calm. Get back in serenity. Get back where he needs us to be. Let him minister to us. Let him minister to us the way he wants us to minister to those in the world. And after that happens, then we can go back out and we can do what he needs for us to do. So Rest is a very powerful song, man. And even the way it came to me.
Like I was watching like Big Crit interviews, and so he made, you know, Big Crit, one of my favorite artists, you know, and he talks about like how when he raps on beats with other producers, how his voice sounds like refreshed, and how he sounds like you feel like it's better for him to write then, because after he makes the beat, you gotta mix the beat, and then you gotta then write your rhymes and then whatever. And even though you made this beat, it feels like the same kind of energy though on this, like you were refreshed doing this. So it made me curious, like, okay, when did he make the rhymes? He already had the rhymes together, or did he like make the beat all day and then the next day he came to the joint? It felt like you were just in a different space, like more rejuvenated. I don't know. Maybe you just like maybe it's the message or the content was what got you there. I don't know.
I just made the beat, but I didn't have any words or anything that I wanted to write to it. I just made the beat. Just sat it aside. I came back one day after studying and reading. It might have been after a Sabbath when I was resting, and I just wanted to talk about that presence, that feeling, how being in the presence of God felt, and just that peace. I wanted a song that represented that. I wanted something that I could go back and listen to just to put me back in that vibe again. And I started to look for scriptures that talked about that. I found a few, and I put on that beat. When I put on that beat, the song was downloaded. Like the Spirit gave me that song, Rest. So I was able to get the feeling of being in God's presence, how I felt, the emotion of that. I was able to get it out and put it into words and record it into a song. So that song is one of my favorites for special reasons. And it's one that I like to go back and even listen to get me back in that zone, get me back level, get me back prepared and ready to go back and fight the battles that we have to face on a day-to-day basis.
It felt like that. Like it was a new, fresh energy that you brought on it, which is great because I think it had to be like that. Yeah, dope rhymes, dope. The cadence you know on that thing is crazy. The singing on it is good. The high notes was crazy. Like, this dude hitting high notes on there. My only thing with this song is I think it needs another voice, like a singing voice. You need a female singing there somewhere. So honestly, when I was listening to the choir sing, I was thinking of which one of those voices I think would make sense. When like just earlier, I don't think none of those stood out to me, but I'm sure somebody you know. Or like Kayla Baker, first person I thought of, would be dope on there. Kayla Baker would be dope on there. And then I just don't know where she's at, where she lives at, but yeah.
Yeah.
I was playing. Rest, 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 rest. Rest, 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 rest.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try it.
Alright.
I can't make no promises, you know.
Here we go.
Rest, 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 rest. Find rest in His presence. Rest in His presence. Find peace in His presence, oh God. Oh God. There's peace, there's peace. There's peace in His presence. Yeah. There's
What you think about the song you just recorded?
It's a breath of fresh air that's so relevant to where I am in life right now. Just lately it's been really noisy around me, just with my problems, my situations, other people's problems. So this just kind of got me in this place of kind of retracting and getting back to His presence. And I appreciate this opportunity because normal Tuesday night I probably will be home chilling with my dog or something like that. But this just kind of reminded me that this is the place that I need to be, so I can kind of get back to the Father, So that's it. It's been a pleasure, and I'm gonna go home singing that same note over and over and over again in my head that I couldn't get. So yeah, but that just reminds me, even in that, there's a message. There's repetition. There's repetition in our walk and in our talk with God. And until we get it, He's not going to give up on us. He's not going to leave us astray just because we forget or we mess up or we keep on making the same mistake over and over. And even though we have it in our heart and in our mind, I'm just constantly reminded that God is not like man, and He will never lead us astray. He'll never forsake us. He'll never walk away. Every time we stumble, He'll pick us right back up again. And so I appreciate you for picking me back up again on that note too. But that's it. I wish the best for this project. I know I'm rambling on and on and on, but I mean it from the heart. I wish the best for this project, and I'm so delighted to be a part of it and to use my gift and walk in my purpose, on purpose, and walk in assignment and divinely connected with people so that I can fulfill the promise. So thank you for having me a part.
Man, it's a pleasure to work with you.
Yeah.
'Cause like I told you a long time ago, you're one of my favorite singers.
Oh, thank you. That means a lot. That means a lot.
And also, what size shirt you wearing?
See.
Humble servant.
See. I love this song. Thank you.
I appreciate you. I appreciate you so much.
I appreciate this. I appreciate this gift, and thank you for allowing me to use my gift. So, yeah. God bless you on your walk and on your journey, and thank you for allowing me to be a part of it. And don't talk about me when you leave now. Don't talk about me.
I'm not. When you record your CD, I want to be a part with you on that too.
You will be a part. That is motivation. That is motivation. Now don't come back up in the studio getting on me. Because I done took up some of your time. I took about 10 minutes on literally one note.
That's all right. When I'm messing up on mine.
One note.
When I'm messing up on mine. And that same grace.
You know what? His grace and his mercy is sufficient.
There you go.
But his power is made perfect through weakness. So I was a little weak on that note, but you know what? I kept going, and you made a way to make me hear it in the end. But again, I appreciate it. And this is pushing me. As simple as it may be to someone else, this is pushing me because I have been stagnant for so long, and just sitting back on my gift because I was afraid of not making it, fearful of just failure, and I don't sound like everybody else, I don't look like everybody else, and so oftentimes we get so afraid and we bury our gifts because we're so busy comparing it to what the next person is doing. But to each his own. Many are called but few are chosen. So if you're chosen according to his purpose, he's going to make room for your gift. Your gift actually will make room for you, so if I'm not using it, I'll lose it, and there's no way for it to make room if I'm not using it.
Amen.
So that's it.
I appreciate you again, sis.
Yes.
Hi, I'm Sapar Nahar. I'm here to give congratulations to MDB on his new upcoming album, Battle Hymns. Really such a great listen. I'm still listening, still enjoying this album. I cannot wait until you all hear it. Counting Blessings, perhaps one of my faves. Blessings to you, brother. I hope you continue and grow in your gift. This really gave insight to your growth in the spiritual walk as well as just life. So big ups to you. Continue to do the work. Bless you. And may you be abundant in everything that you do.
Peace. What's good, MR? What's good, Mr. Boss in the house? It's your boy Jay Scholar checking in. Want to touch bases with you about the project, man, and how growth has been a beautiful thing for us as we've been working on the music for well over what? I'd probably say it's been about 10, 13 years, man, since the first time I was coming back to the rock all of the time in 05, 06, 07, 08. All of those times used to come back to the rock, and I remember used to have studio set up over there in the UP. You know what I mean? Shout out to the university place. Winthrop folk, y'all remember that. And I just remember pulling up on you because you was one of the few people that had the equipment around the time when, our group, CNL, was building. And we were just hungry for studio time, and you always had the hunger for it, to learn and to give your time and your effort. So I always appreciated that, and every time I touched down in the rock, I knew I was gonna come through and lay some bars. You always had the beats going, always was just hungry, you know what I mean? Early on, man, your rhymes used to be all over the place, you know what I mean? You used to have something to say, but just had a lot of words and things, and it was always enjoyable to be able to talk to somebody and critique them, and they take the criticism and not get offended and get better. And I just remembered hearing your voice get more confident to your comfort. And on the last project, man, like I told you, man, that project was truly, truly, truly something that I really, really enjoyed. The Odyssey project was dope. So I really have listened to that a lot, and I think you found your voice over time, not just how you physically sound, but the things you choose to talk about. Also, like I said, man,
Birth of a Lion was fire, my G. I had to go back and look at my track listing to make sure I touched some of these songs. Of course, you got the CNL family on They Took and J. God. Of course, No Justice, No Peace is fire to me, of course. But the two joints that stood out to me that always stuck with me was My Brother and Mr. Police. Mr. Police is featuring Vince Keys and our frat brother Iambic. So we definitely want to shout out those brothers. But My Brother, how you spoke about your brother and how you looked at the brothers and how you looked at yourself, just say so much about growth. Again, just being able to be transparent, to be honest, and to be forgiving and to be loving in this climate is very important. And it's important that we do that and we continue to, you know, hold fast to those things. So I definitely wanted to touch base and give props to the Birth of a Lion project. It meant a lot to me. Even the cover art itself, just how it looked and how it felt, just felt so very powerful. So I just want to salute you, my G. Of course, not even on no happenstance. I wear shirts throughout the week when I come home, take off my work clothes as a teacher. You know, I put on the shirt and you see it got a stain on it and stuff, you know what I'm saying? So, but this right here was something that we created together, man. You gave me the idea and it was around the time when I was young in design. So this clearly is at least 8 years old. How I got this shirt, I don't even know, bro. I don't know if you came to the crib and left it, or I was at your crib and needed the shirt and left it, or one of my people had the shirt and left it. I don't remember how I got the Melodic Ruckus shirt, but I got it. You dig what I'm saying? And I kept it, and it means a lot to me, not just because I did the logo for you as a graphic designer, but it means a lot to rep and hold fast to some of the things that have, you know, just taken time to get to. So just to cut to it, man, I just remember your beats being so bass heavy and so dope, man. Like, they were different. They were different than Mel and Chris's beats, you know, like, and it was exciting. They was naked. You know how I like my beats. I like my beats to be able to see the bottom, you know, and that was something I think you always kept in your head as you move forward, not only with beats that you would make later for our projects for CNL, but it was also a lot of things that you would do in your own work, and I just really felt like it added to your growth. Man, you know, growth is essential, especially if you're putting positive things into the soil. If you're weeding away a lot of the things that are holding you back and you continue to reach for the sun, anything is possible, man. Just as my beard has grown and your locks have grown, the music has grown in an exponential way, and it's been really, really enjoyable to see you grow as an artist. And as always, you know, I'm always down to help you out in any way, shape, form, or possible. You know that. You know how we get down, man. We do this in a major way, not just because we frat or because our homeboys are all homeboys, but just for the love of the music, the love for the culture, the love to create. To be creative is such an important thing, and I just value that. And I look at you, even though you're younger than me and you're my younger brother, man, I just look at you as an independent man and an artist that won't take no for an answer. So, man, keep grinding, keep shining, keep growing, because if you're not growing, you're dying. If you're not living, you're dying. Every day is a day to get better. You're either getting better or worse. That's it. There's no in between. And I honestly can say that you're getting better, man. So as always, cheers to you, my G. Keep doing what you're doing. Representing for Melodic Ruckus. Representing for the frat. Representing for South Carolina on the whole. And as always, you know, I love you much, man. I got your back in any endeavor. Always reach out to Scholar, and you know Scholar got your back. And I want to close this one with a thank you. Thank you for all you've done for me personally, what you've done for my crew, what you've done for CNL, what you've done for people that met you through me that I wasn't even present for, and they told me how you showed them love. So that's love. Love is love, and you know we're gonna keep spreading that love and keep spreading that love. So you know we don't spread hate, we spread ruckus, we spread love, we spread that good music, and the coolest living can never ever lose. So keep winning, my G, keep winning. One love, peace.
I have known MDB for about 14 years, and I am so honored to call him my brother. I am so happy, so overjoyed, so thrilled by his growth spiritually, mentally, and physically. He is not naive to the things that's going on around him. He is very aware, and I am so honored to call him my brother. Bruh, I love you. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep putting out that positive energy. One thing I can say about you, when you throw out positive energy, it comes right back on you. And I appreciate you for just being you. Keep doing you. Apply pressure to the things that you're doing now and continue to be great. I love you.
Peace and love. Greetings, greetings. I just wanted to share my sentiments about this beautiful God that I met at my old job, one of my old jobs. I can honestly say that he has helped awaken me and my higher conscious and going about life in a peaceful and loving way. When I say this man has really helped my whole elevation process, really kick-started that thing by having, spiritual studies at his home, and we watched the arrivals, and I believe we were discussing that, and just how to be of a higher vibration, and honoring the spirit. So I can truly say that this man has taught me a lot, and opening his space up to conversation and to growth. And not only with the knowledge, but with music, through his music, through his messages, through his acts of kindness, through everything, he's just super, super dope, man. Super smart, intelligent, spiritual, uplifting, honorable, just amazing. So I want to take the time out to say thank you, and thank you for helping me discover who I am and how I should be. I appreciate your being. I appreciate your love. I appreciate your honesty. I appreciate your friendship. You are amazing. I just want to say thank you. Thank you for always being you, and being a blessing to the mass of people, to all the people that you touch and that you reach. It's always a blessing in that. And keep honoring that. Keep doing your thing, bro. You're freaking awesome. Just stay in the light, man, as you will. I know you will. But yeah, I really want to say thank you for teaching me all that you have, and always being kind and being loving and supportive, and just understanding. You're really, truly special, and I'm so grateful to have met you at the time that I did. It was needed, and it's so appreciated, and it's so honored. Thank you so much.
Hey man, you already know, big bro. I'm gonna sit here and listen to the whole joint. I'm gonna send these, see how you feeling if you're gonna use them. Cause I'm talking crazy. Like I said, birthday weekend. Hey, even though I elevated in the game, some things I see still the same, man. That's just being real. But I had to listen to this way. Trump song number 2. Oh my gosh. Bruh. That bass, bruh. This is stuff that make people think Trump ignorant at red lights. Then fade it out. Bring it back. You ain't about it. This. There you feel. Then the lyrics there too. Bro, you doing it, man. Hey. Super proud of you, man. This. Yeah. Hey, man. If you ain't even know, this your boy Tucker, CNLOE. Second generation, I'm gonna start saying that. But nah, man. Me and Melodic go back, man. Spit one of my first verses with the clique at his crib. And me and him just, we had that vibe ever since. We done connected since, and I done figured out. I was 20, I'm about to be 30. Shit, I was 13 years ago, bro. That crazy. Me. But it is what it is, man. Hey, like I said, proud of you. Nothing but peace, love, and blessings. And the 3 songs I heard tonight, yes, sir. I'm listening to it till you kill the link.
Check out the shirt, man. I am God's child. melodicruckus.com. You know what I'm saying? This is something else I use as an outlet. You know, I do graphic design. I like clothes. I want clothes that promote what I have going on and give a good message. So I make clothes. It's one of the outlets, man. But yeah, like I was saying, man, God was preparing me this whole time, and I didn't know He was preparing me to minister through my music. Not only my music, like I say, I got clothes going on. I have my story, my life testimony that I can share with young people. And actually show them that, you know, what they read in the Bible, it's not just fairy tales and fables. It's things that you can actually use in your life and get to know the same God that's in that Bible and actually be able to develop a relationship with Him, and He will look out for you the same way He did for those people in the Bible. Also, man, another form of outlet I do now, of course, I write songs, but I also am a writer. So I'm using my same inspiration of my life story and the same testimony that I share through my music. I've written down in another form that also is a form of ministry. Here in my book, Brother to Brother. So, man, all of this time God has been preparing me for a time such as this, where He knew somebody with my particular life story would be able to share it and touch the hearts of other people. And it's the same thing that He's doing with you, whether you know it, understand it at this time or not. He's doing the same thing with you, and He wants the same thing for you. He wants you to be able to take your life story and use it to touch other people's hearts. He wants you to take your passions and the things that you love to do and your gifts and talents that God gave you. He wants you to give it back to Him so that He can use it to further His kingdom. So He can use it to reach the hearts of people who may not have had the chance to hear the word without coming in contact with you. He wants these things for you. He wants these type of ministries to be birthed out of your creativity. He wants your words to be used to influence crowds and masses of people. These are things He wants for you. Sometimes all we have to do is just submit our will to His will. And the things that we think we want become secondary to the things He wants for us. And sometimes we realize, look, what God wanted for me and what He had planned for me is way better than what I thought I wanted. All I wanted was a Benz. God is giving me influence over thousands and thousands of people. That's better than a Benz. I can touch the hearts of people. Man, that's powerful. But we first have to just submit our will to His, you know. A few things, man, from the brother to brother. Just wanted to show you how this breaks down. It's broken down into 3 parts. You see part 1, survival. And as you go through each part, survival says, what does history say about me? I can overcome that. Right, survival. So as you go through each part, You look at it, it's broken down in weeks. Week 1. Each week has a quote from my music or poetry right here. And then the weekly reading, which relates to the quote. So on week 1 it says, "Me, I demand to see the end of my journey, my destiny. Adversities ahead are just testing me, and it's easy to realize even though I'm blind from the sweat and blood in my eyes." That's from one of my throwback songs. But anyway, your weekly inspiration is going to be based on that quote. At the end of that week, you'll see where it says your space. Boom. Right there, you can jot notes down. You can write some things down that you learned, some plans you have for that week, whatever have you. Now the book is broke down into 52 weekly lessons, so you can read it throughout a year, or if you feel like it, you can just keep on going. You don't have to wait till the next week to read. But it's something that I use, my life situation, my testimony to try to help others get where they're trying to get in life. So it's just another way of me giving back, man.